Good evening. This meeting will now come to order. This is the Vergne Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, February, today is March, no, today is February what? 28th, okay. 2017, regular meeting at 5:30. We do have a quorum, barely, but we do have a quorum. And the first item is to approve the minutes of December 27th. Have you had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Do I have a second?
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. The minutes are approved as presented. We only have one item of new business on the agenda tonight. It's a variance from the minimum distance requirement for mini storage requested by Arnold Consulting Engineering Services on behalf of Mark Pirtle, property located at 5095 Murfreesboro Road, C2 Highway Service Commercial Zoning District, parcel owned by Mark Pirtle. I can almost see you over there. Nice change, I suppose. Would you give us your report, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. The applicant tonight is Mr. Mark Pirtle. He's represented by Arnold Consulting Engineering Services, or ACES, as I'm going to call them for short. They are requesting a variance of 120 feet for a proposed mini storage development to be located at 5095 Murfreesboro Road. As you know, that is directly next to City Hall, where we are right now. And next door to that is the car wash, and then we have I believe that's the Burger King. The property is zone C2, which is the proper zoning for a mini storage facility. However, C2 requires that all mini storage structures, whether it's the office or the storage spaces themselves, be set back 220 feet at a minimum from the main road, which would be Murfreesboro Road in this situation. And they are proposing a roughly 69,000 square foot facility. You can see here, it's just a conceptual site plan just for the purpose of the variance tonight, with a 2,400 square foot office space, which is proposed to be located right in here, which would be, as you can see, there's this is Murfreesboro Road. This is the 100-foot setback line that they're proposing to utilize and have the office at. The 220 is back in here. I'm having a hard time reading the screen, just so you know. And then their first proposed storage building would be back in this location, which is more like 290 feet off of Murfreesboro Road. As you can see, the parcel does have fairly narrow frontage along Murfreesboro Road. It does widen out as you move back towards the rear of the parcel. It becomes an L shape. And the owner contends that the project aims to enhance the visibility of the office building while shielding or reducing the visibility of the actual storage spaces themselves. This is a rendering of the proposed office space that would be the office building that would be located at the 100-foot setback line. As you can see, it looks to be a mix of stone and some other nicer architectural materials. And if you can see on the conceptual site plan, the proposed office building is roughly in the same location as the car wash, the Burger King, the Taco Bell. They sit back about the same distance. They also did contend that the official site plan, should the variance be approved, will have the appropriate landscape buffers and yard requirements. Of course, that's not shown on this site plan because it's just conceptual for the distance purpose. But should the variance be granted and it moves to the site plan phase, that will be looked at by the Planning Commission. This site is also contained in the overlay district, and that's the reason that they provided the rendering of the office, just to give you an idea of what it will look like and show that it will meet the requirements of the overlay district. Looks like it's built sort of in a craftsman style. Should the project move to the site plan phase as well, they will be required to fulfill all of the overlay requirements, which includes the submittal of a materials board, materials breakdown, and architectural elevations. There's been a BOSA sign posted on the property now for several weeks. I have not actually received any phone calls from it. You can see the location of City Hall. That's looking from the sidewalk in front of City Hall towards the rear where the storage units would be located. This is looking towards the car wash, which is where, in between obviously is where where they're proposing this project. You can see there's the car wash there. It's right now it's just a wooded strip. This is, if you were to walk between the car wash and City Hall property, this is the back of City Hall, roughly right behind where Craig is. And you can see to the right is where this would be, where some of the mini storage buildings would be located. That's the office break area that's directly on the, behind the building. And from the break area, you can see the car wash through the wooded area, where the proposed facility would be. So that's the summary of my report. I do believe we have a number of people here to speak on behalf of this request, should you have any questions.
I'd like to have the representative of the owner or the builder step forward, please. Who is going to be the primary speaker?
I can. I'm Brian Shirley with Arnold Consulting Engineering
Raise your
Services.
right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Absolutely, sir.
Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Brian Shirley, 1136 South Park Drive, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
You heard the report from the city planner.
Yes.
Do you have anything to add or detract from it?
The only thing I can possibly add is we've been looking at this for a while, and I think the people who are going to be operating and owning the facility have agreed that the storage buildings would be better suited further back, but it's just mainly the office area that we want to have up closer to the front. And if you look at that plan, it's still sitting a little bit further back than what the car wash is, and the property between City Hall and this, we'd like to clean that up and probably exceed the minimums of the landscape that would be required. Try to keep as much quality vegetation that's in there as possible. Being it's right next door, we want to make sure we're good neighbors.
Presentable.
Right.
Kristen, would you show those photos again, the streets from Murfreesboro Road?
The aerial?
No, I'd like to see the street level
Oh,
of the front part. There you go.
Okay.
Now, the office back from the sidewalk and the road is going to be, actually the first structure is going to be the office?
Yes.
And that's going to be set back even farther than the car wash?
Yeah, the front edge, if you look at the site plan, you can see the front edge of the car wash, and we're going to be stepped back a little bit further from that as well.
Okay.
And the storage units won't be until about 200 feet back.
I see in the plan also that between the beginning of the structure and the sidewalk is going to be for parking?
Yeah, we'll have a limited amount of parking there, and then some parking also in the rear of the building.
Are you going to have any kind of, where's my notes here, buffers, landscape buffers along the sidewalk there so that to protect the pedestrians from the parking lot?
I believe your ordinance requires some buffering, if I'm not mistaken. I think we usually have about 10 feet from the right-of-way line to the parking.
How many parking spaces in the front of the building facing the road?
I think it's 6 to 8.
Yeah.
And then the majority of the parking will be behind the building?
Yes.
Okay.
As an operator, my name's Luke Williams, same address, 1136 South Park Drive, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Thank you.
Most of our traffic is very minimal. 4 or 5 people a day would be a lot of people that visit and come to the office. So we'll just have a couple handicap and easy access parking in the front, and then any of the staff parking and stuff will be behind it. So very minimal as far as traffic and/or. And once again, just kind of reiterate, we really want our office kind of stands out. It's a really nice high-end office look, and we just don't want that to be hid way behind the car wash. So we kind of pride ourselves on people coming to our office and they happen to store stuff in our facility.
Yeah, it's a good-looking building.
Yes,
Congratulations
thank
on
you.
that. But just concerned about how everything will look from the road, because you know what we've got up and down Murfreesboro Road now. And it looks like when you come in on the left side of Murfreesboro Road, as you're coming in Laverne, we've got the nice library and a few nice buildings. And then I would love to see it
Yeah,
continue.
and we would
proper
absolutely
landscaping.
entertain any kind of modifications to our plan that you all think would enhance it. Like I said, we just want our primary concern is that people have the visibility of our nice office. We think that's what sells people coming to our facilities. So certainly if we want to minimize even fewer parking spaces in front and get it down to just like one and one handicap, or we're absolutely open to, what we need to do.
Right. Well, the planning commission, that's their area of responsibility is the planning commission, but I was just concerned about that. Who are you going to target for clientele for this?
Our typical clientele is everybody sitting in this room. Our average shopper is a mid-30s woman who picks out most of the storage facility. And typically in the industry, they're traveling to and from work. They want to pick a facility that they can get close to either where the kids go to school, to and from. We've done some feasibility studies, and there's a pretty high demand. And we do a 1, 3, and 5 mile ring. There's a lot of rooftops and demand to support our facility. We operate 6 or 8 of them right now and are growing more. Central Kentucky, the Nashville area, and Louisville, Kentucky.
What do the storage buildings themselves look like?
The storage building themselves, typically what we do, like on this facility, as you can see, the perimeter of our building or the perimeter area becomes the fencing as well to screen all the doors. So you don't see when people are in there. So everywhere that there's not a building, there'll be a fence to protect our client's property, and it provides a nice aesthetic screening for this facility.
What type of fence is it?
Fences always depends on the local municipality where we're at. Typically, we'll do a 8-foot wood or PVC, one of the two, in between the buildings.
Is that
Usually
fence
that's required by landscaping ordinance as well.
Is that going to cover the front area by the sidewalk and the parking area?
No, sir, we don't want to do any fencing
That's
in the
all in
front.
the back?
All in the back, yes, sir. We don't want to have any fencing. Our fence would start, and a gate would start at the entrance to the storage facility, behind the main parking. Yes, ma'am, right there. We'd have a keyed entry gate that opens and closes, and people can come and go, and that will be, back in the back.
Will you be able to do some landscape buffering between the back where the storage buildings face City
Yes.
Hall on the side? Will you
Yes,
be able
ma'am.
to do
We
some
would be
kind of
glad to do that.
evergreens
Yes,
or
ma'am.
something like that to kind of?
Yeah, if there's mature vegetation, like he said, that we can salvage, we typically try to do that. If there's not, some of this has gotten kind of just overgrown and it's
Yes.
just scraggly a mess. So we'll probably have to scratch and start over. But yes, ma'am, we would get our buildings off the setback line, and then on the other side of our buildings, we could do a row of vegetation.
You have any questions, Chris?
No.
Any other questions?
No, I don't think I have any.
I'll entertain a motion to accept or deny.
I make a motion to approve it based on what we've been told.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
All in favor signify by raising your hand.
Aye.
Unanimous. Congratulations.
I wish everybody did the front of Murfreesboro Road that nice. Hey guys, do y'all want these? My bird needs them.
Your birds need them.
No, I don't need those.
You
Unless
don't
wanna
need those?
keep 'em.
No.
Just choose those.
Yes. Meeting's now adjourned.